Wolf here, and at some point in the recent past, I don't know how long it'll be between videos, but anyway, at some point recently, I made a video about the game Zombies, Monsters, Robots, and how it was not actually shut down, even though in a lot of places it was shut down, but that it wasn't actually completely shut down because it's still up in Latin America. Anyway, I said in that video that I was going to make another video about how to download the game, because it's pretty straightforward, but it's not super straightforward, and also if you're watching my channel, you probably speak English, and this is the Latin American version of the game, so it's in Spanish, so I'm going to show you guys how to download it. It's not super hard. Like I said, it's far easier than trying to download like a game from Asia or whatever, because a lot of those are like geo-locked, or you have to know like Chinese or Japanese or Korean or something. This is just Spanish. So you're going to want to go to acceso5.com, acceso5.com. This is, like I said, the sort of games provider that are the ones that still have Zombies, Monsters, Robots up. And this is the main page right here. As you can see, there's Zombies, Monsters, Robots right there. You're going to go to Crea tu Cuenta, which is to create an account. And you can do Facebook or Google, but I just made a whole new account when I made mine. So usando tu email, which is use your email. Crea tu Cuenta. So this is your username right here. If I remember right, I'll put a picture up where I have it like written over what all these are. But this is usuario is what you want your username to be. Contraseña is your password, email is your email address, and sexo is your gender. And then down here, it's a CAPTCHA pretty much. Luckily, since Spanish uses the same alphabet as English, you don't have to go looking up like a weird keyboard or anything to do it. You just type in your stuff. Now, I've already made an account, so I'm not going to go making another account. After you make your account, you're going to get an email that's to activate your account. You're going to want to make sure to actually activate your account. I don't know if it actually affects downloading or playing the game, but just be safe and activate your account. You don't have to do anything extra. You just have to click on the activate button in the email like most other activation emails. Probably will go to your spam though, because it's in Spanish, and if you're watching this, like I said, you probably speak English, so you don't get very many Spanish emails. Mine went to my spam account, or my spam inbox, and I just got it out of there pretty much. So it'll probably be in your spam. Go there, activate it. Even if you don't speak Spanish, it's got like a huge button on there that says like Activa or whatever. It's easy to tell what button you need to press. So now I'm going to go ahead and log in and then show you guys what to do after that. Okay, so now we're back on the main page here of acceso5.com, and now we're logged in. As you can see, my username is Wolfie, of course. And what you're going to want to go to is you're going to want to go to Juegos PC, which is PC games. Go down, and it's ZMR, because Zombies, Monsters, Robots. That'll lead you to zmr.acceso5.com. And from there, if you want to just download the game, you're going to go to Descarga Gratis, which is to download the game. You're going to click on that. And then this is where things are going to get a little bit weird, because there's two options here. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to swap to another computer to show this to you guys, because I already have this downloaded on this computer, and I was gonna like try to give you guys a walkthrough without actually showing it, because I already have it downloaded, but I have it like hidden in all these other files and stuff on this computer. It was kind of confusing because this was the first time I did it, so I didn't really know what I was doing. But I remembered I have my other laptop, the one that I made that video about the $200 Walmart laptop thing, so I'm actually going to swap to that and download it on there and show you guys on there. So I'll be back on that computer in a second. Okay, I'm back on the same web page I was on earlier, but now we are on the computer that I'm actually going to download this on. Just a quick note, this computer will probably not actually run ZMR, but I'm just using this because I haven't downloaded it on this computer. It should be able to download the game fine, it just probably wouldn't be able to actually run it. So if you're here from the $200 laptop video, no, I'm not saying that this will run on that laptop. I'm solely using this just to download the files, just to show you guys how that works. And then once I've done that, I'm going to hop back onto my normal computer and then show you guys like what the actual inside of the game is like. So as you can see, we're back to where I was earlier. We have gone through creation and activating the account, and now we are on the Descarga Zombies, Monsters, Robots page. So the thing is, there's two options here. Now, there's Descarga Gratis, which is the button that you would think you would press, but you're not actually going to want to press that. Now, I don't know if it's because of where I am, because I'm not in Latin America, if it doesn't work, but that button Yeah, that button downloads in like installer program, which normally would be fine, but for some reason it doesn't work for me, and I'm assuming it probably won't work for other people either. So what you're actually going to want to do is go to the links alternativos, and you're going to do option 1, which is option 1. Now this is just going to give you the zip file, which has like everything already in it. Now, what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to save that somewhere where you know, like where you're gonna find it pretty much. Oh, if I could type, that'd be great. Because the game will eventually like create a bunch of files for it and everything, so I'm just gonna make a new folder called ZMR, and we're gonna put all those files into that ZMR folder. I would suggest you do this, otherwise you might have a little bit of a mess on your hands once you try to figure out like where to put things. So we're gonna put it into there. The game is called Mars Latin America because the like working title of it or whatever was Mars. This game actually went by a bunch of different names in different regions, but this is the files you're going to need. So we have it downloading into my ZMR folder. We're going to save that, and this is going to take a little while to download because even though it's only 5 gigabytes, I think just like given literal distance from where it's stored and stuff, it might take a little while. So I'm going to let it record, and I'm going to speed it up until it's finished downloading. So I will be back when that is done. Okay, it appears that the files we needed have finished downloading. So, this is where things get a little bit annoying though, because, as you guys can see, it's downloaded as a zipped file. Now normally you can just extract files on Windows, but when you try to use the Windows file extraction wizard, it gives you this error. It says, oh, there's nothing actually in there. And this took me a while to figure out because I was like, well, what do you mean there's nothing in there? It's 5 gigabytes, like I just saw it download. As it turns out, I don't know what it is about the way these files are zipped, but you need to have some sort of third-party like file unzipper. The one I used on my other computer and that we're going to use here, it's really popular. It's WinRAR. I was really cautious about downloading this. I don't really like to download programs that like mess with my file system, but it worked, and then I just uninstalled it right afterwards. So that's what I would suggest you do. If there's another one that you're more comfortable with or that you would rather use, you can use that. I think 7-zip probably also works. So I know that that one is like a little bit like more free than WinRAR, because WinRAR is like not free, but like doesn't ever actually make anybody buy it or whatever. So anyway, it's at rarlab.com. Make sure if you're going to use WinRAR to get it from this website, because otherwise people might have shoved some unwanted programs in there. We're going to go ahead and download the English 64-bit version, I suppose. And going to just go ahead and save that somewhere. So if you know, I'll just save that onto the desktop too, because I'm just going to delete all these files anyway when they're done with. So I probably don't need to show you guys this part, but I figure I'm doing a full walkthrough, so I'm going to show you guys every little bit that I do. A lot of this is just waiting and clicking on the right things at the right time. Okay, so that is downloaded. We're going to come over here. It's, oh, it looks like it downloaded into the ZMR folder. Actually, I'm going to just drag that right onto the desktop. So, and you can save this stuff other places and everything. So we're going to do this. We're going to go ahead and open this. Let this install. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. There we go. I don't know if like integrating WinRAR into Shell would really do anything, but I figure since I'm going to delete it anyway, I'm going to want as little traces of it on the system as possible. So hit OK. And then done, and then that should be all good to go. So now, as you guys can see, now this has a little WinRAR icon. We're going to just double click on it, and WinRAR is going to open up. Oh, are we about to get an advertisement, I'm assuming? It's probably going to tell us, hey, make sure to buy it. Okay. We're going to extract to, and then we're going to just leave this alone, pretty much. That's what I did on the other computer, so that should be fine. So now we wait for this to extract, and then we'll get another file folder that's going to have more files for us to play with afterwards. So, and then as soon as this is done, I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to uninstall WinRAR because that's all we needed it for, and I don't really feel like having extra programs on the computer. So, as soon as this is finished extracting, we're going to go and uninstall WinRAR and then move on with the process. So I'm going to turn the microphone off while this does its thing because it takes a little bit if I remember right. Okay, now that WinRAR has unpacked all of that stuff, we can exit out of that. As you guys can see, we have a new folder here. But first, like I said, we're going to go ahead and go into uninstall, add or remove programs. This is actually a really useful thing that's built into Windows to help you uninstall stuff. Go right into here. There's oh, well, okay, now more things are getting found. Hang on, give it a second to catch up with itself. There we go, uninstall, uninstall. It'll bring up the uninstaller that we need. Continue with uninstall WinRAR, yes. It'll do its thing, and the WinRAR is gone. And then this is just a shortcut if I remember right. So if we hit open, oh wait, no, that was the installer. We just want to delete that anyway. Okay, so that's the installer. We don't need that either. WinRAR should be completely gone. Yep. Okay, and as you guys can see, even the Mars zipped file is back to the normal zipped icon. So now we're going to go into the extracted version, and we're just going to click on this very first thing here called ZMR. And then this is going to pop up in Spanish, and it's another installer once again. It would probably be easier if the normal installer on the website worked, but this is, I guess, the manual way to do it, and it's the way that worked for me. So that's how I'm showing you guys. Give it a second to boot up here. Okay, like I said, this is in Spanish. This is pretty much your normal installation thing despite being in Spanish, so I'm going to continue. Going to let that just do its thing, download everything into the Accesso, or actually no, I'm going to go ahead and move that stuff into the ZMR folder that I made. Okay, there we go. If I remember right, I just left this alone pretty much because, yeah, this I left alone. I didn't create an icon on the desktop. That's just to make an icon on the desktop. Yeah, actually, you know what? I am going to just do no access directories or anything like that. And then we're not going to make an icon on the desktop. So now it's going to install, and then this is also going to take a while because what it's doing now with this installer is it's going to like unpack these two packs, and I think it's also a pack itself, so it's going to unpack everything and download everything onto, like, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna shut up while it does that. Okay, everything has installed, and so now we're gonna finalizar. Now when we hop back, here's ZMR, here's the actual folder, and here's all the files for the game. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop back onto the actual gaming laptop that I have that we're actually going to play this on, and you guys, it's the same thing on there as on here. Just it's that computer's more powerful. So I will see you guys back over there in a second. Okay, now we're back on my gaming laptop, so that way we can actually play the game, or at least I can show you guys how the game works. I'm not really going to actually put much gameplay in this video. We have the same exact folder here. I think for the most part, I think there's a couple different files in here, because when I downloaded it, I shoved some other stuff in different places. Anyway, the application you're going to want to use to actually play the game is going to be MA Launcher, Ma Launcher for Mars, because like I said, that was like, I guess the development title of the game or whatever. But anyway, MA Launcher. So it's going to ask you allow this app to make changes to your device. That's just for like if it's got to download updates or whatever. You're going to get this. This is the window that, you know, the launch window. These script errors are just because of the thing here. I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's connecting to a website to show these advertisements for stuff in ZMR and other games and things like that. And those script errors are because of some sort of script error that must be on the website. Anyway, Hugar is to play, so that is exactly what we want to do, is play. Now, I don't know how well the game will want to cooperate with recording and also playing at the same time, because if you guys have watched the channel, you know sometimes my computer can play a game fine, but it doesn't like to cooperate when I try to record that game. But we're getting all the launch stuff here. Alright, the game has booted. I don't know why it took so long. Normally it doesn't take that long. Oh, I need to mute that also so there's no feedback. I think it's just, again, because recording kind of slows my computer down a little bit. So now you've got a login screen. You're going to use your same Excesso5 username and password that you made earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And we're now logged in. It's loading up my character selection screen here. When you first log in, it'll ask you to make your character and everything. It is in Spanish, but it's pretty much visual anyway, so you guys shouldn't have any trouble figuring that out. So as you can see, I've already played a little bit, level 10 and everything. Hugar, again, is to play, so we're going to hit that, and then I'll show you guys just around the menus and stuff, so that way if you don't speak Spanish and you've never played the game before, you can sort of get a feel for how to navigate the menus and stuff in the game. So Jugador versus Jugador is player versus player. I'll show you guys this first. This is pretty simple. This is different rooms. This one is levels 1 through 10, I believe. This is levels 11 through 20, and then there's just different like versions. There are mechs in this game too, so I think that's just for mechs, these two servers anyway. So if we hop into this one, you can see there's a couple different matches going on. The PvP is pretty straightforward. It's just your normal PvP like any other game. You fight other players, and Hugar, just hitting the Hugar button is pretty much the best way to get into a match in PvP. So yeah, and I think I haven't really played with PvP that much. You can just explore probably and find some cool stuff, because there's like a monsters versus like soldiers mode and things like that. So we're gonna go Ingress. Wait, no, not Ingressar. We're gonna go Atras to go back, and then PvE is where I usually spend my time playing this game. This is the player versus enemy mode, cooperative. There's a whole bunch of different rooms. I usually pretty much just go for room A because I have found the most people in room A. There's a whole bunch of people playing right now, as you guys can see. If you double click on any of these, you can join. You're gonna want to pay attention though, obviously, to like where, like what it's in, how many people are playing. So anyway, okay, let me run through this. So this is the game number, I believe, the name of the person who is putting it on, I think, the map they're playing on, the mode they're playing in, the number of players, and the state of the game. So En Corso is, you know, in course it's going. Lleno is full, I'm assuming, because 3 out of 3 and 4 out of 4. Esperando, I think, is waiting, like it hasn't actually started yet. And here's the difficulty, and the difficulty is pretty easy to tell because it's also color-coded, so more towards green is easier and more towards red is more challenging. So that's how to do that. Crear Sala is to create a new match yourself. It's kind of hard because I do know some Spanish, so I kind of forget, like, if you don't know any Spanish, what you're probably going to need to know. Equipo is your equipment, so this is where you can set up your weapons and stuff. This is pretty easy to navigate even if you don't understand Spanish, because there's a lot of pictures and everything, and you can see the stuff. And a lot of the gun names are also in English or some easy to understand wording of Spanish. This is the black market on the next tab here. This is where you can buy new weapons and stuff. The green currency is the currency that you would actually have to pay real money for, because there's Excesso cash. If you want, I think you can buy it with a debit card, so you don't need to like go find real cards if you don't live in Latin America. But honestly, like, there's a lot of stuff you can unlock with the gold coins, which are the ones you get from just playing the game anyway, so I'd say just stick to those. One thing you're going to want to take note of is make sure if you're looking for stuff and you're like, why can't I buy any of this stuff? Or why is all this stuff rentals? You're going to want to click off of the hot tab onto the Armas tab, or any other tab really, and then it shows you everything. So this is all the stuff. A lot of the stuff you can buy permanently, so a lot of it isn't rentals, which is nice. Armas is guns, Armadura is clothing, Modos is attachments, I guess, although I'm not actually sure how to attach attachments in this game. Perks is, well, perks. Pectos is, I think, like, yeah, resurrection coins and stuff, which also in the Latin American version of this game, you pretty much are never going to need to buy resurrection coins because you start off every match with 999 of the free ones, so that's kind of nice. In the version on Steam, it wasn't like that. And then Mascotas, I think, is... Come to think about it, I think that translates literally as pets. So if I remember right, these are things that are gonna like fly around and protect you, but I'm not completely sure about that. I might be absolutely wrong about that. And then mechs. This is weaponry for your mechs, because there's mech battles in this game sometimes. I haven't really seen that many of them, but they do happen. missions. This is like any free-to-play game, how there's always the stuff like, have you joined 5 matches today? Get an extra 100 coins, that kind of stuff. Corporations. This was something I never really played with in the English version of the game. You can join like teams pretty much. That's how you do that, I think. And then rankings. So that's a pretty basic rundown of how the game plays. The controls are almost exactly as you would expect. WSA and D to move. 1 through numbers are how you change weapons. The only kind of weird thing is that the space button is your dodge button, and then you hold it down and hold forward to sprint, or if you double tap buttons on WSA and D, they do like the same thing. And then the other buttons on the keyboard act as like call outs and stuff, but you guys can just press the buttons and figure those out. So anyway, that was kind of a surprisingly long video. That's how you can still play Zombies, Monsters, Robots in, well, I'm recording this in 2020, who knows how long the game will be up for. But yeah, that's how you still can download and play Zombies, Monsters, Robots, even though it's not on Steam anymore. Hope this helped you if you wanted to play the game. It's a little bit of a confusing process, but it really isn't that hard of a thing to do. The only part where it's a little bit weird is pretty much the part where you have to download WinRAR or another file unzipper. I really wish that you didn't have to do that and you could just unzip that file with Windows built in one, so that way you didn't have to go through the rigmarole of downloading extra stuff. But it's not a huge deal. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys in other videos, and bye-bye. And if you want to see me do more ZMR videos, make sure to let me know, because this is a pretty cool game. Oh, and I always forget to say this. Please make sure to subscribe and like and all that stuff. Trying to get 1,000 subscribers soon, so thanks. Anyway, yeah, bye-bye.